did it. It's going to be based somewhat on the Jeopardy concept, but we're going to make it unique to ourselves. So we're going to go 6, 7, and... Okay, we're going to divide it right behind Armand. So the dividing line is going to be the wider spot. So everybody who's behind that line is on one team, and everybody who's in front of that line will be on a different team. Good morning.
The front row will probably win.
It's possible. It's possible. Now, we're not going to do the Jeopardy. I don't know how many of you have watched Jeopardy, but my memory of Jeopardy is one team gets to pick the topic, but both teams get to answer. So we're going to navigate away from that a little bit. We're going to let each team go one at a time. Now, you can work as a team. So you can discuss it amongst yourselves, amongst the team.
So which one's Armand's row on? Is he the ones behind him? Or
So
the ones in front of him?
I'll walk to it. So this wider divide here is the two teams. So this is one team, and this is the other team. Team 1 and Team 2. We'll say Team 1 is in the back, and Team 2 is in the front.
This but when Pastor comes in, we'll see.
He's not coming in. He told me he would be out. All right, so here's our categories. We have 6 categories. They're the first 6 lessons that we learned during this set. So category 1 is the prophet Ezekiel. Category 2 is God's new covenant. I got to use the mouse. If I don't use the mouse, it fails. Category 3 is Zerubbabel returns to Israel. Category 4 is Esther trusts God. Category 5 is Ezra teaches the law. And category 6 is Nehemiah rebuilds the wall. All right, so we are going to start with Team 1, which is the back. Now the way this works, oh my, it's not showing anything. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why it's giving me troubles. Sorry, it's still giving me troubles. I recently had to switch to Windows 11. All right, so categories, you can see them there across the top. These are the amount of points that you would get, and you can pick from anywhere. There is no daily doubles, okay? So will just be the questions. So we're going to start with Team 1. So who in Team 1 would like to pick what the first question is? Team 1. Team 1 is the back. So it gets progressively, it should get progressively harder. So let's start over here on my left. George, which one would you like to choose? Your whole team can answer, so it's just you choosing.
Yeah, the prophet Ezekiel.
Okay, the prophet Ezekiel, which number?
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay, so the whole Team 1 can answer. Oh, I don't know what it's doing. There we go. Team 1, okay. The presence of these parts, remember this is just Team 1 that can answer. The presence of these parts of the body on the rings indicated the ever-watchfulness of the Spirit of God. And try and answer it in the form of a question if you can. So you'd say, what is the... So we'll give you 30 seconds. Actually, I think it's 15 seconds.
What is God's presence?
Okay, what is God's presence? That is not the right answer, so we're going to go to Team 2. Team 2, do you have any answer here? The presence of these parts of the body on the rings indicated the ever-watchfulness of the Spirit of God. Team 2? Okay, time is up. So the answer, which this was supposed to be an easy one.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah, your team already went. What are the eyes? Remember, there was this vision of these wheels and these angels, and on the wheels there was all these eyes, right? And the eyes could look any direction. They were pointing in all different directions. That was an indication of God's ever watchfulness over the affairs of men. So the eyes that were on the wheels. Okay, so I got no points for that one. All right, now we're back to Team 2. So Team 2, which one would you like to choose? We'll start over here on the back left, just like we did. So this would be Alex.
Nehemiah builds the wall.
Nehemiah builds the wall. Which number?
I'll try 4.
Try 4. Okay. This was what Nehemiah encouraged the people to think about when their enemies tried to discourage them from the work. Remember, the whole team can answer. So anyone on Team 2, and you can discuss it amongst yourselves.
Be not yet afraid of them and remember the Lord.
Okay, so can you put that in the form of a question?
What is?
What?
We'll give it to you this time.
I maybe
What
I don't
is-
understand how
so here goes.
how I should answer.
You got the right answer, but here's the format. What was the remembrance of the Lord's faithfulness? So remember, in this part of the Bible, they were working on the wall, right? And the people around them, the enemies, wanted them to be discouraged, and they gave all these discouraging things. And what Nehemiah said is, he actually quoted himself. If you read that verse, yeah, it's right here, actually. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible. That's a quote of what he said when he was still back in Babylon. And he said, thank you, Lord, you're great and terrible. So what he was doing is he was looking back to all that the Lord had already accomplished, and he was saying, hey, people, don't be discouraged now. Remember all these things the Lord has already done. He's going to continue to be faithful. Okay, so that's Team 2 has 4 points. 4 points. Okay. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. I got to put it under Nehemiah. Yes?
Explain what it means. Some people haven't watched Jeopardy.
Okay, explain which part.
How you want
So the way Jeopardy works is what you have is they give you the answer, and you're supposed to put your response in the form of a question. So it'd be, what was the remembrance of the Lord's faithfulness? So I'm not going to be too much of a stickler, but I will ask you about it. Does that help? All right, so back to Team 1. Team 1, so this would be, remember your name again? Nicholas. Okay, this would be Nicholas.
So I can pick any column?
Any column and any number.
Esther trusts God, number 2.
Number 2, okay. Esther trusts God, number 2. Just remember, the entire team can answer this. This was the primary reason Mordecai was eventually noticed by the king. Okay? George, do you want to talk about it with your team?
Yeah, I can add to somebody else.
Oh, go ahead and say it out loud to your team. I won't listen. What's your thought for your team? If you want to discuss it.
Team 2 will hear whatever I say.
That's true. That's very true. All right. Anybody in Team 1?
To give an answer?
To get an yeah, what's the answer? This was the primary reason Mordecai was eventually noticed by the king.
He found an assassination plot.
Okay, so can you put that in the form of a question?
This was the primary reason why it was
George? He said he wanted to know.
What was the assassination plot?
There you go. Thank you. What was the plot to kill the king?
Yeah,
That
that
is-
would make
that's
sense because you have questions for the answers.
Yes, that's how Jeopardy works. That you get the
I mean,
answer and you have to put it in the
This
form of a
has-
question.
The solution has a question mark.
All right, so that's 2 points. Good job. Okay, so this is back to Team 1. All right, Team 1. So Alex, you went, so this would be Nathan.
I don't know. Ezra teaches the law.
Ezra teaches the law. Which number?
1.
Number 1. All right, Ezra teaches the law. Remember, this whole Team 1 can answer. Ezra was a descendant of this individual. If you can remember what his role was, as a hint, if you can remember what his role was, that would give you a hint. Okay, Tyler?
Who is Sariah?
Okay, that is not the correct answer. All right, team 2.
Aaron.
Okay, can you put it in the form of a
Who was
question?
Aaron?
Who was Aaron? Yes, that is the correct answer. Who was Aaron? Here's why. Yes, it gives you a whole list of his descendants, but the thing that was important for the lesson was that he was a descendant of Aaron. And that what did that give him the right to do?
King.
He wasn't king. That gave him the right to be something.
Levites.
He was a Levite, and it also gave him the right to be a priest because he was actually a descendant of Aaron. Okay, so that was team 1 that got that. All right. So now we are back to team 2, team 1. Team 1, which one would you like to choose? Let's see.
Team 1
We're-
just get it.
We're over. Team 1 got that point.
How many points?
Total?
You're under the game.
Okay, so you're confused with how I'm keeping points?
No.
I just going to ask you a question.
All right. Right now, team 1 has. Wait. I think I wrote this in the wrong block. Team 1 has 5 points, and team 2 has 2 points. All right, Miss Barbara, you get to pick which topic and which number.
Why me? I just come in.
That's all right. That's all right. Just pick a column and a number. You don't have to answer. You just have to pick.
What's the one over there being out here?
This one, Nehemiah rebuilds the wall.
No, but what are they all?
Those are the different topics.
I
So
know,
just-
but can you tell me what they all
Sure. The prophet Ezekiel is number 1. God's new covenant, number 2. Zerubbabel returns to Israel, number 3. Esther trusts God, number 4. Ezra teaches the law, number 5. And Nehemiah rebuilds the wall.
I want Esther.
Okay, Esther, and would you like 1, 3, 4, or 5?
One.
Okay?
I don't have to answer that.
You don't have to answer. Your whole team is going to answer. Okay, here's the question. The fight between these 2 leaders resulted in an open position for Esther. You can once they get their chance. So team 1 gets a chance.
Team 1, that's us.
That's team 1, yep.
I thought they were team
The whole team 1 gets a chance to answer, and then it'll come back to team 2.
Xerxes, who is Xerxes, and Vashti.
Okay, let's see if you got it right. Who are the king and queen? So I didn't put their names in case you didn't know it, but that's Xerxes and Vashti of the Medes and the Persians. So that is correct. Good job. All right, that was Esther point number 1. That was team 1. All right, back to team 2. So Carla, you get to pick
How many
this.
points?
Let's see. So you have 4, 5, 6. Team 1 has 6, and team 2 has 2 of them.
Esther trusts God 3.
Esther trusts God 3. Okay. God providentially worked through this common condition that occurs at night to remind the king of Mordecai's service.
What is insomnia?
What is insomnia? Let's see if you got that correct. What is insomnia? That is correct. All right, I got to find Esther. Esther, that was team 2.
How many points?
You have 5. It's 5 to 6. Okay, this is back to... Okay, center, front row, next to Barbara. I don't know your name. Nora. Nora, which column would you like? This one?
I will go with
Laura.
Yes.
Laura. Okay, you're correcting me. Thank you. Got it.
Nehemiah number 3.
Nehemiah, let's see.
The last one.
This one?
Yes.
Number 3. Okay, team 1. All right, here we go. This is for your whole team. This was the goal of Israel's enemies when they made the following accusations against building the wall. They mocked, so they said the Jews were foolish. They said they were feeble or weak. They said they were giving unprofitable sacrifices, so God wouldn't help them. They said it would end in a day, so it would take too long. They said there was heaps of rubbish, so it was too difficult. And they said the foxes would break it down, so they said they didn't have the ability. What were they trying to do? That's what we're trying to get to.
What is
Go ahead, John.
discouragement?
What is discouragement? What was discouragement? That is correct. All right, so this was number 3, team 1. So it's now 9-5. Okay, back to team 1. So did you pick Carla, right, last? So Anna's probably not going to pick, so we'll come over to Miss Judy.
Let's do Esther again, 5.
Esther for 5. All right. Did I do that right?
It's not Esther, that's Ezra.
Okay, that's going to be a gimme. It's going to give me, so I did it incorrectly.
20 points.
This was how long it took for the people to separate from the pagan marriages.
Esther? She said Esther.
Esther.
Here's the trouble. I don't have any way to go back.
And
So we're just going to skip this one. This is a freebie for everybody.
So we're doing Ezra.
What took 3 months? All right, so now we'll go back to what you said. I misread it. Esther. Okay, here we go. God's providence often goes unnoticed due to these 4 factors. Can you name at least 2? You got to remember the story. This is Esther we're talking about. Esther, the theme of Esther is providence. So what? God's providence often goes unnoticed due to these 4 factors. And this is for team 2. Team 2.
Which one's team 2?
Team 2 is the front. This is for the front. I should just say the front and the back. There you go. Anybody want to try? Okay. Need at least 2. God's providence often goes unnoticed due to these 4 factors.
What is his judgments and his knowledge?
Okay, that is not correct. So let's go to the back. These 4 factors. You got to kind of remember the lesson. If you weren't here for the lesson, it makes it hard, but you can figure it out. So this is the back. Team 1. Oh, okay. I'll come back to you. Okay.
God's favor through men in Esther's favor.
Okay, that is not the correct answer. So this is for half points because we're
What is lack of faith?
okay. I need 2.
What is spiritual blindness?
Okay, I'm going to say those are both the same, similar, both similar.
No, well, it's a half a point and we get a whole one.
Okay, for no points. Now these were the 4 points in this lesson. What requires faith? Remember, unbelievers cannot see God's providence, right? To them, it just looks like chance. So that's the one you 2 got. Allows for free will. Remember, in the case of Esther, the king was the one who decided that he wanted to read the records, right? When he couldn't sleep, he was the one who asked for the records to come to him and be read. And he didn't pick which record, his servant picked which record. So free will was happening, and yet God was using that to get the information to Mordecai, to the king. So God uses free will. He uses random circumstances. Let's see. So it just so happened that Mordecai was standing next to the pillar when he heard the plot, right? That was apparently just random circumstance. But God was using that to accomplish his purposes. And then 4, often impacts others without knowledge. Remember that eventually when Mordecai rewrote the law in order to allow the Jews to defend themselves, where did the majority of people end up fighting the enemy? Was it in Babylon or was it in Israel? The majority of the people were in Israel. They had no idea that God was working all this stuff out in Babylon. So a lot of times God's providence is, something's happening to me and God's using it to accomplish something over there. So you can't always see the direct connection. All right, so no points for that one. That was 5, and that was...
I thought we got a half a point.
No, I don't think so. All right, so we're back to the back, which is team 1. So this would be Nicholas, right? Yes. Okay.
We should protest this question.
Nehemiah rebuilds the wall, number 2.
Nehemiah rebuilds the wall, number 2. All right, here's the answer. Unlike Ezra, who was a priest responsible for the temple, This was the role the king of Persia appointed for Nehemiah upon his return to Jerusalem.
Who was the gatekeeper?
Okay, that is not correct. All right? So let's go to the front.
Who's the governor?
Who is the governor? That is correct. So, team 2.
Second guess your answers?
Ezra. Okay, this is Nehemiah rebuilt the wall number 2. So this is team 2.
So we get 2 points for that?
You got 2 points. That's right. So total points so far is team 2 has 7, and the back team 1 has 9. Okay, remember, you can discuss it amongst yourselves before you give the answer. All right, so this is back to team 2 now. Team 2, so, sorry. Okay, back to team 2. So this is Davina.
Team 1 is winning.
Team 1, your team is winning. That's correct.
Yeah, let's try it.
Can we Esther Truscott for 4?
Number 4, Esther for 4. There's Esther, there's number 4. Okay. This was the new position of Esther after she first saw the king of Persia. So, she goes into the king, one day, after that, new position.
What is queen?
Okay, that is not the right answer.
First she was on.
So it's partly the right answer. Do you want to refine it? I'll give you a chance to refine it since it's close. That's partially right. There's a different word for it that starts with a C.
What is concubine?
That's correct. All right. The correct answer is what it was a concubine. We know that because if you look at this verse, it says that once she came back, she was put in charge of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. All right, so that was 4 for Esther. Now team 2 is ahead. All right, back to team 1, the back. So let's see, Nicholas, you just went. Okay, so Pastor. Okay, Carlos says Pastor can't play.
What? If I move to the front, can I play?
Yes, of course.
We'll let you pick. We'll let you pick.
Let's do Covenant 3.
Okay, Covenant.
Column
Okay, no, column 2. Covenant. What number?
3.
3. Okay, Covenant 3. Of the covenants established by God, this one was conditional on the people's obedience. And if you remember in this lesson, we looked at all the different covenants. There was one that was conditional on the people's obedience. So anyone? Okay, Fred and Vange, so you all are on the team 2. Okay, so you're on the team that's sitting in the front. The front and people over there are going to be on team 2. The good news is you're winning. You're on the winning team right now. Okay, John, did you want to discuss it with your team, or you want to go ahead and go for it?
Well, what is the Mosaic covenant?
All right, what is the Mosaic covenant is the answer. What was the Mosaic covenant? That is correct. Now, when I raised this with, I had Mary QA me at home, and she said, oh, the dependent covenant was the Abrahamic covenant, right? Because the Abrahamic covenant is dependent on faith, right? But you got to remember what the question here was. The question here was, which one was dependent on obedience, right? The Mosaic covenant was, God will bless you if you obey them. The Abrahamic covenant has nothing to do with obedience. It's based on faith. Right? Through righteousness. Righteousness comes through faith.
I have a question. Right. Like, is this quote from KJV?
Yeah, it should be.
It doesn't appear in this Bible. Like, I don't know.
Can you read what it is in this Bible?
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night?
Okay, so the reference is wrong. I would imagine the chapter is incorrect.
Yeah.
So maybe if you flip through some chapters
but
before.
But it is Genesis 19, verse 5.
Yes, but I'm saying you got that right. I've probably got it wrong here. So you can double check that one. Thank you. So I'll have to
So we
correct
get a
that.
half a point because you were wrong with that.
Okay, wait a minute. Now the back answered that, and that was
Maybe it's the Mormon Bible.
this is Matt's version. It's what? 13:1?
No, 3 for team 1. I'm trying to help you.
Oh, gotcha. So just a minute. This was the God New Covenant. Which number was this one? Is that what you're telling me? 3. And this is team 1. Got it. I got it. All right. So, okay, that brings us back to team 2. And I think, Tyler, it's your turn.
Exodus is the problem.
Exodus? Is that what it is? It's Exodus. So check it in Exodus.
You had the whole book wrong.
It's off by 1. Come on. What's that between friends?
God's New Covenant, number 5.
God's New Covenant, number 5. All right, we're going to this one right here. God's New Covenant, number 5. This item from God was different in the following ways. God's law written in the minds and hearts, an intimate knowledge of the Lord. Sins will be forgiven and remembered no longer. So you all who've just come in, all of you over there on that left side and the front are on one team. So you're all on team 2. So this item, any of you over there and along the front can answer this. So it's open to anybody. Okay, Judy's got an idea. Do you want to discuss it with your teams? All right.
What is the new covenant?
What is the new covenant? Is the proposed answer. What is the new covenant? Is correct. So remember, we looked at all of those old covenants in the Old Testament, but in this lesson, Jeremiah was looking forward to this new covenant, right? God's going to give this new covenant. Okay, good. So this was team 2, 5 points. Okay, back to team 1. So let me see. Pastor, you just went. So we're going to come to the front. So Sharon, you can pick the next item here. Which column?
Esther trusts God.
Okay, Esther trusts God. Oh, that column's already out. You have to pick a different one.
Okay. God's New Covenant.
God's New Covenant, okay?
Number 4.
Number 4. All right, God's New Covenant, number 4. This is team 1. All right, so team 1 is these 2 groups in the back. You all over there, you're on team 2. All right, so this is this section of the back. It says, this judgment on the nation was evidence of the people's inability to keep the Mosaic law. Yes, Nicholas.
What was the exile to Babylon?
All right, what was the exile to Babylon? What was the Babylonian captivity? That is correct. Good job. All right, that was Nehemiah. No, that was
Covenants 4.
Covenants. Okay, Covenants 4. And that was team 1. Good. Okay, quick score tally. So it's 14, 15, 16. Team 1 has 16. That's the back. And team 2 has 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16. 16. All right. Okay, so now we're back to team 2. So this would be Armand.
Nehemiah, number 5.
Nehemiah number 5. This was the spiritual attribute that Nehemiah illustrated in the following ways. He prayed and fasted. He took action. He overcame discouragement. Okay, it's team 2. Team, it's the front and the side. Front and the side.
Don't give me the answer, John.
Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds if you want to make a guess, and then we're going to go to team 1.
Oh, come on. Hello?
Okay? What is faithfulness?
What is faithfulness? Is the proposed answer. Yes. What is faithfulness? Good. All right. This was Nehemiah rebuilds the wall. 5 points. All right. Team 2 is now ahead. All right. This is back to the back of the center and my right section. So let's see. John, you just went? Or
John's picking.
John's picking. Okay. John's turn.
Okay, I'll pick the prophet Ezekiel number 2.
Okay. The prophet Ezekiel. Let me get it set up so I don't forget.
21 to 16.
Prophet Ezekiel number 2. This portion of Ezekiel's vision involved a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle.
Oh, wait.
So this is team 1. Team 1.
I can't.
You can, but you'd be given it to
Well, I mean, I can stand up, but
them. This portion of Ezekiel's vision involved a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay.
what is God's attribute?
What is God's attributes? All right, let's see if that is correct. Oh, crap, I forgot to give you guys the chance. What were the faces of the eagle, of the angels? Sorry, I you all off. Are you angry? What were the faces of the angels? Yes.
Lion, eagle, man.
You got it right. You came in 1 second too late. If you'd have been here 1 second earlier, you'd have gotten it. This is the answer.
Faces of the angels.
The faces of the angels. Yep. All right. Sorry, I gypped you guys. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
No.
All right. Back to team 2. So it's you all and this side. Okay, now Armand, you picked. So I think we're going to go all the way to the back. So AJ, right? AJ, this would be your choice. So you pick column and number. So which column would you like? Can you see them from back there? I can read them to you if you can.
I don't know if you can say it.
Prophet Ezekiel, God's new covenant, Zerubbabel returns to Israel, Esther's gone, Ezra teaches the law, Nehemiah rebuilds the wall. Ezra teaches the law. Okay, that's this column. Which one would you like? 4. Number 4? All right. So this is for team number 2. This was the way that many of the people in Israel were compromised when Ezra returned to the land. So remember, anybody on team 2 can ask the question. This was the way that many of the people in Israel were compromised when Ezra returned to the land. Okay? Do you want to discuss it with your team?
What is intermarriage with foreign women?
All right, let's see if that is correct. What were the pagan marriages? So that is correct. Good. All right, this is Ezra. Was this number 4?
Yep.
All right. Team 2. Back to team 1. Okay, John, you just went, so this would be Jay's turn.
Let me tell that team.
They got 4. Team 2 got 4.
Zechariah returned to Israel 1.
Zerubbabel returns to Israel, number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Zerubbabel returns to Israel, number 1. All right? This is for team number 1. That's the back 2 areas of this section. It says, this was the amount of time predicted by Jeremiah the prophet for the return of the people to the land of Israel. So anybody in the group can answer.
What is 70 years?
What is 70 years is the proposed answer. Yes, that is correct. What was 70 years? That was team 1. All right, back to team 2. So Armand and AJ just went. So now we'll go to Rudy. Oh, Esther's out. This one's already gone, I'm afraid. This one? Ezra. Yeah, it's probably hard to see through that. Ezra. Okay, number 3, Ezra? Yes. All right, number 3, Ezra for team 2. In today's money, roughly this many millions were raised by donations from the people to rebuild the temple. In today's money, this many millions. Okay, Alex?
What is approximately $5 billion?
Okay, if you're getting that out of your thing, that is not the answer we gave in the meeting. So, no, I'm sorry. Team 1.
You want it in crypto coin?
Sure. Maybe that's what you meant, right,
Yeah,
Alex?
that's exactly what it is. What is it?
Cryptocurrency.
Any guesses?
I don't remember the conversion.
We did the calculation. The reason it's hard to remember is because the Bible gives you it in talents, right? So you got to convert it. So they did a different conversion than I did. Okay, so we're going to go to the answer. It was roughly 250 million based on the number crunching I did, just the value of the gold and the silver. Now, I didn't include the height difference, Alex. Maybe I only counted what the people actually donated in terms of like money. I didn't count in the trinkets they gave. There's another line that says, and they gave this many items. So that may actually be accurate. All right. So nobody got that one.
Does that include also the one that they returned, the one that they stole from?
That does not include that.
Okay.
So yes, Armand, you're right. In addition to the money that people donated, the king also chipped in money.
Return the money
He returned.
was stolen to begin with.
Yep, he returned and he chipped in. So it was both. That was not included. So that may be what was also included there.
So you get half one?
No. All right, let me see. I'm trying to remember. This is number 3 for Zerubbabel, right? Which one was this? Let me go back. Ezra? This was Ezra. Okay. Ezra, number 3. So that's a blank. Okay, it's back to team 1. So we did Jay. So Mary.
Okay, Zerubbabel returns to Israel for 5, please.
All right, going for the points. Let me get it here so I don't forget. Zerubbabel returns to Israel. Okay, number 5. These 4 methods are often used by God to direct His people into His will. Please name at least 2. So this is for team 1. Anybody on team 1?
By his prophet.
Okay, by his prophet. So what was a prophet? That's one. Can you give me another one?
Circumstance.
Okay, spirit and circumstance. So let's see if that's correct. What are God's word? That's the prophet. His providence, which would be circumstances. His Holy Spirit, which I heard somebody say. And remember, when we had all those things leading people back to Israel, and when they got there, what did they run into? It was obstacles, right? And the Lord helped them overcome the obstacles. So when we're trying to find what the Lord's will is, it isn't necessarily ruled out by obstacles. What it's ruled out by is the Lord helping us overcome those obstacles. So that is correct. That's 5 points for team 1. 5 points. Good job. All right. Back to team 2. Okay, so this would be Altura. Which column and which number? We have the prophet Ezekiel, we have God's covenant, Zerubbabel returns, Ezra teaches the law, or Nehemiah rebuilds the walls. Okay, the prophet Ezekiel 5. Okay, so this one down here, correct? Here we go. This is team 2. This portion of Ezekiel's vision was evidence of God's faithfulness. This portion of Ezekiel's vision was evidence of God's faithfulness. This is for all of Team 2. Okay, Alex?
What is the Valley of Dry Bones?
No, that is not correct. Not correct. All right. Team 1. There was a Valley of Dry Bones, you're right. But that's not the answer here. Nicholas?
What is the appearance of the glory of God?
Okay, so that is not the right answer. You're on the right track, though. You're on the right track. So since you're close, let me give you a little more. Can you expand on that, Ms.
Is that the
Barton?
rainbow we talking about?
There you go. That is the correct answer.
What do you say?
It is what is the rainbow? So that is the glory of God, Nicholas. So that's why you're on the right track. Okay, that was number 5. So that was team 1. 5 points. Good job. Remember, the vision was given in sections. We started underneath, and we had the firmament between, and then on top of that, and then on top of that. And so that's what you're going to get to. Okay, so this is back to team 2, and we are now with Frank. Fred, sorry. Cool.
Ezra 2.
Ezra 2. Okay, let me get it. Ezra 2. 2. There it is. Okay, Ezra 2. So this is for Team 2. This was likely one of the primary motivations for the king of Persia to order Ezra to rebuild the temple of God. This was likely one of the primary motivations for the king of Persia to order Ezra to rebuild the temple of God.
It's the perceived blessing.
Okay, so the question is, what is the perceived blessing? What did he try to win God's favor? So he was trying to win God's favor. Remember? So the world has a view of God that if I do these good things for God, God will do good things for me. And that's not how God works. Yeah, Alex?
What is peace and prosperity?
He got it. We got it. Okay, so we got it. You're good. You're in good shape. Let's see. This was 2 points. Team 2.
We get 4 points.
The world, because you got it right. The world tries to earn God's favor. Remember, God's standard of righteousness is perfection, right? There's no way to work to meet that standard. All of our righteousnesses are as filthy rags. We all fall short based on our works. So works is not enough to earn favor with God. Okay, this is back to Team 1. Let me see. Okay, we just had new folks come in. Let's see. So we're doing some Jeopardy stuff. I guess we're on, so I think Vange, it's your turn.
Nehemiah 1.
Nehemiah, number 1. Okay, this is Team 2. I think I went out of order. So I need to do 2 for Team 1. Sorry about that. We'll go ahead and do this one. So this is Team 2, and then we'll do 2 for Team 1. This man led the 3rd return from captivity to Israel 13 years after Ezra. Tyler?
Who is Nehemiah?
Who is Nehemiah? You know why this one? Yes, thank you. There's the answer right there.
That was a trick question.
Yes. Okay, this is number 1. Yes.
Mimics more. John has.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so let me go back. So now we got to do 2 for Team 1, okay? Because I messed that one up. Who is Nehemiah? So 2 for Team 1. Let's see. So I got this in the wrong spot. Okay, so we are on Team 1, and let's see. Did you go yet, Alan? No. I think it's Alan's turn.
It's Alan's turn.
Yeah.
Zerubbabel returns to Israel 4 points.
4 points. Going to the bottom. All right. This is for Team 1. These are some of the obstacles the people had to overcome when they reached the land of Israel.
How many?
There are at least 3. Some of the obstacles when they return to the land of Israel.
Opposition.
Okay, so opposition is one proposed. What was opposition?
Living outside the city.
Okay, living outside the city, the second.
Broken wall.
Okay, broken walls, the third. Anybody else have one more? Okay, we're going to go with that. Here's the correct answer. What were the destruction of Jerusalem? That's why they were living in a different city. So you got that one. Because the buildings in Jerusalem were destroyed. The wall itself was destroyed, so you got that one. And the desolation of the land. We could have added opposition from those people living around. So I will count that.
Oh, thank you.
So let's see. That was number 4 under Nehemiah, I think. Which one was that one? That was the rubble. Rubble. Okay, team 1. Okay, so we're going to do team... Question. Laura, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't the king of Babylon also be an issue?
So you're thinking of as somebody who opposed it. So in my mind, the king of Babylon was actually a supporter because he's the one who actually sent Zerubbabel back, and it was actually Zerubbabel and the whole captivity. So he released a bunch of the treasure, right, and allowed them to go back. So to my mind, he is for it. Maybe what you're thinking of is the locals. The local governors were opposed to it. So like Sennacherib and those guys. Does that answer? Sanballat, thank you, Sanballat. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to team 1 again. So I think we're starting. Oh no, John came in. John, team 1, which item row would you like? Ezekiel 4. Okay, all the way down there. Ezekiel 4. So let me get to it. Okay, this is for team 1, Ezekiel 4. This individual was seated on top of the firmament held by the angels. So anybody in team 1 can answer this.
Angels?
Angels. Did I say angels?
Angels.
Oh, I spelled it wrong?
Okay.
I rely pretty heavily on word, and so that's a real word, so that didn't save me. All right, team 1. Team 1, hold on. We had to do 2 team 1s because I accidentally did 2 team 2s. Yeah, it's team 1's turn. Back to back. No. Okay, we'll stop shortly.
God. Who is God?
Who is God? Let's see if that is correct. Who is God?
There you go.
All right, that is correct. Now, let me write that in. All right, so my wife just reminded me of the time. So let me see. I believe we started with, who did we start with? Does anybody remember? Did we start?
31 to 22.
I think we started with team 1, so let's let team 2 go one last time. All right, let's see. Team 2, so this would be Mark, way over there. Can you pick a row and a number? Second column? Number 2. So God's New Covenant, number 2. Okay, God's New Covenant, number 2. This is for team 2. God mentioned the sun, the moon, the stars, and the sea to confirm this aspect of his character. Anyone in team 2? This is our last question, Pastor. Okay, Alex.
What is his unchanging faithfulness?
All right. What is his unchanging faithfulness? That is correct. Good job.
All right. Good job.
All right. So that is the end of our lesson. Now, Pastor has the questions and answers. John and he are going to pass them out. So hold in your seats just 1 second, and I'll also add up the score while we're doing that. They're in.
Okay, what was the last score? Well, he's adding them up.
Okay, final score was Team 1, that's the back, had 31, and Team 2, that's the front, had 28. 28. So Team 1 is the official Jeopardy winners. Yay! All right, you are dismissed. Thank you.